My girlfriend said, I'm not cutting my ex out of my life. Deal with it. And I said calmly, like I was ordering a coffee, okay. She actually smiled, relieved, proud of herself. I knew you'd understand. I nodded like I agreed, then finished the thought she didn't see coming. I will. I understand you're choosing that, so I'm choosing something too. I'm going to continue this relationship without you. Her smile glitched. What does that even mean? It means you keep your ex, I said, and I keep my dignity. Goodbye. She stared at me like I had suddenly started speaking French. Wait, are you breaking up with me? Yeah. And that was the beginning of the most exhausting 2 weeks of my life. I'm 30. I'm not dramatic. I pay my rent on time. I rotate my tires. I own a rice cooker because I am a responsible adult who has accepted that ordering takeout for every meal is not a personality. My now ex, Lena, is 28. We met at a friend's housewarming, the kind where everyone pretends they're not silently judging the furniture. She was funny in that sharp, observational way. Not try-hard funny, more like she'd lean in and whisper, "Watch this," and then casually say something that made the whole room laugh. She worked in event design. Weddings, corporate launches, influencer nonsense. Her life was chaos on a spreadsheet. She was always telling me stories about clients who wanted a vibe, but couldn't explain what a vibe was. I loved listening to her rant. I loved her energy. We clicked fast. Within a month, we were basically living at each other's places. Within 6 months, we were talking about moving in officially. 2 years in, we had routines, grocery runs, Sunday morning coffee, dumb shows. We had a shared drawer in the bathroom like a symbol of commitment. Deodorant, toothbrush, her little face creams that all cost more than my car payment. Everything felt stable until her ex came back like a haunting. His name was Jonah. They dated for 5 years before me, broke up about 9 months before we met. According to Lena, Jonah was emotionally talented but practically useless. He was always working on projects, always about to blow up, always one big idea away from a stable future. She told me she left because she got tired of financing potential. Fair. People grow, relationships end, exes exist. I wasn't threatened by the concept of a man who used to date my girlfriend. Then about 7 weeks ago, Jonah started texting her again. At first, she framed it like a one-time thing. He messaged me out of nowhere, she said, showing me her phone like evidence. He apologized, says he's been working on himself. What changed? I asked, genuinely curious. He got a job, she said, as if that explained everything. Like, a real job. Okay, so he was growing up. Cool. People can apologize. Closure is a thing. She said she'd reply politely, keep it short, then move on. Then she said he wanted to meet for coffee, just once. Then coffee happened and it became, we just talked. Then it became, we're good now. Then it became, we're friends. And suddenly Jonah's name was a permanent resident on her lock screen. Good morning texts, inside jokes, long paragraphs, memes, late night, you up, energy. Except not the flirty kind, the familiar kind, which is worse because it's harder to call out without sounding insecure. I tried to be cool about it for longer than I should have. 3 weeks into Jonah's return tour, I finally said as gently as possible, "Hey, you and Jonah are talking a lot." Lena didn't even hesitate, defensive immediately. So, she said, adults can be friends with their exes. They can, I agreed, but you're texting him more than you text me. That's not true, she snapped. It is, I said. I'm literally watching it. You're being insecure, she said, and I felt something in my chest drop because I'd heard that line before, from people who were doing something they couldn't justify. I didn't want to be that guy, the controlling boyfriend, the jealous stereotype, so I backed off. I told myself I was overthinking. I told myself this was temporary. Then Friday happened. We had dinner plans, real plans, reservation. She'd bought a dress. She showed it to me like a reveal. "I'm wearing this," she said, and did a little spin in my kitchen. I remember the exact moment because it's now filed in my brain under things that become ironic later. Friday afternoon she texted, "Babe, I'm exhausted. Work destroyed me. Can we rain check? I need to decompress." I said, "Of course. Rest. Take care of yourself." 3 hours later, she posted an Instagram story. Her, Jonah, an indie concert venue, low light, drinks. The exact dress she'd bought for our date. I stared at my phone like it had just insulted me. I screenshotted it and didn't say a word because I needed time to decide whether I was going to be calm or feral. Saturday, she came over like nothing happened. Like she hadn't cancelled on me to go play nostalgic girlfriend with the man who wasn't ready to to grow up. We were making coffee, and I said lightly, "So how was your restful night in?" She didn't flinch. "Amazing. I feel so much better." I paused. "Cool. I saw you were at a show." She froze for half a second, just long enough for me to notice. Then she recovered. "Oh yeah," she said. "Jonah had an extra ticket last minute. I didn't think you'd be into that kind of music anyway." Not "I'm sorry," not "I lied," just justification. That's when I realized something important. She didn't think she'd done anything wrong. She thought she'd done something clever. 2 days later, Tuesday, we were both working from home at my place. I was at my desk in the living room. She was on the couch with her laptop, supposedly building a mood board for some event. Her phone rang. Not text, not notification. A call. She looked down at the screen and answered instantly. "Hey," she said, soft. Then she stood up, walked into my bedroom, and closed the door. I sat there, staring at the wall, listening to the muffled rhythm of her voice through the door, like it was the soundtrack to my last ounce of patience dying. She stayed in there for 41 minutes. I know because I watched the clock like it owed me money. She came back out smiling. No mention of the call. No, "Hey, Jonah needed something." No, "Sorry, that was long." Just sat back down like she'd taken a normal work call. I waited 10 minutes, then I said, "We need to talk." She didn't even look up from her screen. "About what?" "About Jonah." She rolled her eyes, a full dramatic eye roll, like I was an annoying customer and she was the manager. "Here we go," she muttered. "You lied about Friday," I said. "You're texting him constantly. You just took a 40-minute private call with him in my bedroom." "I'm allowed to have male friends," she said instantly. "He's not a random male friend," I replied. "He's your ex of 5 years. You're emotionally involved with him." She finally looked at me, arms crossed. "So what? You're giving me an ultimatum. It's him or you." "I'm saying what you're doing isn't respectful," I said. "You prioritize him. You lie. You hide calls. This isn't friendship." She shrugged. "I'm not letting go of my friendship with him just because you're insecure. Deal with it or don't. I'm not changing." The way she said it, flat, entitled, like I was supposed to accept being second place in my own relationship. And that's when the calm hit me. The weird calm. The calm that shows up when your brain has already chosen peace and your body is just catching up. "Okay," I said. She smiled. Actually smiled. "Good. I knew you'd understand. You're not like other guys." I nodded once. "I understand you're choosing him. So I'm going solo from here." Her eyebrows knit together. "What does that mean?" "It means you keep your ex," I said. "I keep my dignity. We're done." It took her a second to process, then the panic arrived like a delayed reaction. "Wait, what? You're breaking up with me? Over this?" "Over the lying," I said. "Over the disrespect, over you telling me to deal with it." Her eyes filled instantly, full tears, like a faucet. "I thought you trusted me," she choked out. "I did," I said. "Then you lied. Trust is not a rechargeable battery." "It was one time," she sobbed. "One time that I caught," I said. "How many times did you decompress alone and actually hang out with him?" Silence. Her face answered before her mouth did. "That's what I thought," I said. "You need to leave." "This is basically my apartment too," she snapped, pivoting from tears to anger like it was her special talent. "I'm here all the time. You don't pay rent here," I said. "Your name isn't on the lease. It's my apartment. Please leave." She grabbed her laptop, charger, the hoodie she'd left here, muttering the entire time. "You're overreacting. You'll regret this. No one is going to tolerate your jealousy issues." At the door, she turned around and did the final boss line. "I'm a catch," she said. "You just screwed yourself." "Doubt it," I replied. "Bye." I closed the door. I locked it. I stood there for a minute, breathing like I'd been holding my lungs hostage. Then my friend Marco texted, "Bro, she just posted on her story. When your boyfriend chooses his ego over love." I blocked her on everything. Instagram, phone, everything. I ordered pizza, I played video games, I felt weirdly relieved. And then the circus began. After I blocked her, she tried calling me from her number over and over. I didn't see it in real time because blocked, but my phone still logged blocked calls. It looked like spam. Then she borrowed her sister's phone. I answered because I didn't recognize the number, and I'm apparently still optimistic about humanity. "Hello?" Finally, Lena snapped. "Why did you block me? That's so immature." I paused. "Is this you calling me from someone else's phone to get around a boundary?" "Violate a boundary," she scoffed. "Oh my God, listen to yourself." "We already talked," I said. "You didn't let me explain." "You had 3 weeks to explain," I replied. "You spent them lying and calling me insecure." "I'm good on explanations." "This is ridiculous," she said. "Are you seriously ending things over a friendship?" "Not a friendship," I said. "An emotional affair." She made a sound like she was buffering, like she genuinely couldn't compute consequences. "I have to go," I said and hung up. Then I blocked her sister's number too. An hour later, her best friend texted me. I didn't even know she had my number. Hey, I know things are rough right now, but maybe you should hear her out. She's really upset and I think there's been a misunderstanding. I replied, no misunderstanding. She chose him, I chose me. The friend hit me with, she wasn't choosing him, she was just being friends. You're being unfair. I replied, we're not together anymore, so my fairness isn't her problem. And that got me blocked. 2-for-1 special. The next morning, I got a voicemail from her mom. Hi, this is Lena's mother. I don't usually get involved, but my daughter is absolutely devastated. She made a small mistake and you're punishing her like she committed a crime. I raised her to value loyalty and communication. I'm disappointed in how you handled this. Please call her back so you can talk like adults. Small mistake. Interesting way to describe sustained lying and emotional cheating. I deleted it. At work, my mutual friend, the one who introduced us, pulled me aside. Dude, what happened with you and Lena? She's blowing up the group chat saying you dumped her out of nowhere. Out of nowhere? I laughed. She's been basically dating her ex for a month. He blinked. She said you got jealous because she was friends with an old friend. Old friend, I repeated. Her ex-boyfriend. She cancelled our date to go to a concert with him. His eyes widened. Oh, yeah, I said. Funny how she left that part out. He showed me the group chat. Lena had written this whole paragraph about how I couldn't handle her having male friends, how I had trust issues, how she dodged a bullet. I screenshotted it. Not sure why. Maybe future evidence. Maybe because I'm petty in a quiet way. That night, someone knocked on my door. I looked through the peephole. Lena holding takeout bags from my favorite Thai place. I didn't open it. She knocked again. I know you're home. Your car's here. I stayed silent. I brought food, she said. Your favorite. We can just eat and talk calmly. More knocking. Then she started crying in the hallway like it was a performance. I miss you. This is stupid. We're good together. I texted her from my laptop using a Google Voice number since she was blocked. I'm not opening the door. Leave or I'm calling the building manager about harassment. She read it, left the food outside my door, and walked away. There was a note taped to the bag. I'm sorry for lying about Friday. I was wrong. But you're wrong too for not giving me a chance to fix this. We're supposed to be a team. Please don't give up on us. I love you. Even in the apology, she couldn't resist the but you're wrong too. I put the food in my fridge, I threw away the note, then I changed my door code. The kind of keypad lock you use when you want to feel like Batman. She knew the code and letting the building manager know that my ex might try to access the building and shouldn't be allowed up. I wanted a clean break. She wanted a season finale. Friday morning, I went downstairs for coffee, and there she was, sitting in the lobby at 7:10 a.m., holding a paper cup like this was normal. Hair messy, yesterday's makeup, the posture of someone who hadn't slept. She looked up and smiled like we were meeting for brunch. Morning, she said. What are you doing here? I asked. Waiting for you, she said. We need to talk. No, I said. You need to leave. I'm not leaving until you hear me out. How did you even get in the building? I asked. She shrugged. I tailgated behind someone. Of course she did. I talked to my therapist, she said suddenly. You don't have a therapist, I replied automatically. I started seeing one because of this, she said. She said we should communicate our needs clearly, and I haven't been doing that, so I am here to communicate. My need, I said, is for you to leave me alone. She blinked like I'd spoken a foreign language again. You're being cruel, she said, following me out to the sidewalk. There's nothing to fix, I said. You made your choice. You don't even care that I'm hurting. I stopped, turned around and said, you're hurting because you're facing consequences. That's not my responsibility anymore. I wasn't cheating, she said. Cool story, I replied. You told it better last time. I got my coffee and went back upstairs. That night I got a call from an unknown number and, against my better judgment, I answered. This is Lena's sister, a voice snapped. You need to stop this. Stop what? Stop playing games with my sister's emotions. She's a wreck. She's barely eating. She's crying constantly. That's unfortunate, I said. Also not my responsibility. She made a mistake. One mistake, and you're punishing her like she committed murder. She made multiple mistakes over multiple weeks, I said, then told me to accept it or leave. I left. What's the confusion? The confusion is why you're being such a heartless jerk about it. She should have acted like she loved me, I said. Instead, she prioritized her ex, lied about it, and showed zero respect for our relationship. Then the sister got weirdly specific. You're just jealous because Jonah is more successful than you now. I actually laughed. What? He got promoted, she said. He's making 6 figures, but you can't handle that she's friends with someone doing better than you. I paused. You think I care about her ex's job? You people will justify anything. Then she hit me with the worst line. She's going to hurt herself over over this. If something happens, it's on you. My stomach dropped. Threatening self-harm to guilt someone into staying is not love, it's emotional blackmail. I hung up immediately and screenshotted the call log. Marco texted, document everything and don't engage. Sunday morning, I woke up to missed calls, voicemails, and texts from her mom that progressively got more aggressive, and then the Facebook post happened. Long, dramatic, and completely backwards. Claims about narcissistic abuse. Claims I isolated her. Claims I controlled who she could talk to. Claims I abandoned her when she set healthy boundaries. Reality flipped like a pancake. Some people called her out. Some ate it up because people love a villain they've never met. Monday at work was uncomfortable. Someone from accounting approached me. Hey, I saw a post going around about you. Yeah, I sighed. My ex is mad I broke up with her for lying and emotionally cheating. Oh, she made it sound like you were abusive. I wasn't, I said. She was seeing her ex behind my back. Now she's spinning stories because she didn't think I'd actually leave. The woman nodded. That tracks. Honestly, her story seemed off, like too perfectly victim. Tuesday, her best friend showed up at my apartment building. The doorman called up. Sir, there's a young woman here asking for you. Says she's not your ex, she's your ex's friend and needs to drop something off. Don't let her up, I said. She's harassing me on behalf of my ex. Ask her to leave. She argued for 10 minutes before the doorman threatened to call the cops. She left whatever she had with him. It was a letter, 3 pages, handwritten, basically a manifesto about how I broke her heart, how she did nothing wrong, how Jonah is just a friend, how my insecurities are destroying something beautiful, and how she's willing to forgive me if I apologize and we go to couples counseling. The last paragraph was the kicker. I know you're reading this and feeling guilty. You should. You gave up on us without even trying. But I'm willing to give you one more chance. Call me by Friday and we can start fresh. If you don't, I'll know you never really loved me and I'll move on. Your choice. An ultimatum. She was giving me an ultimatum. I took a picture and sent it to Marco. The audacity. He replied, dude, she's unhinged. Don't respond. Instead, I called a lawyer. Consultation cost me $250. I explained the constant contact attempts, the public defamation, the sister's self-harm threat, the building ambush, the harassment through third parties. The lawyer said I had grounds for a restraining order if it continued and advised, document everything, don't engage, and if she shows up again, file. Friday came and went. I didn't call. Saturday morning at 8:47 a.m., she showed up at my building again, this time with Jonah. The doorman called me immediately. Sir, your ex-girlfriend is here with a male companion, both demanding to see you. Call the police for trespassing, I said. Already done, he replied. I went downstairs with my phone recording in my pocket. In the lobby, Lena looked defiant. Jonah looked uncomfortable, like he wanted to be literally anywhere else. You had until Friday, she said immediately. And you had until I blocked you to respect boundaries, I replied. Yet here we are. We need to talk. This is Jonah, by the way, since you've been so obsessed with him. First time hearing his name, I said. Didn't care enough to ask before. Jonah shifted awkwardly. Look, man, I don't want any drama. She just said you two were having communication issues and she wanted me here for support. Communication issues? I repeated. That's what she told you? Yeah, he said. That you couldn't handle her having guy friends. I pulled out my phone and showed the screenshots. The cancelled date, the Instagram story of them at the concert, her in the dress she bought for our dinner. She lied about being exhausted, I said. Then went to a concert with you. That's not communication issues, that's cheating. Jonah's face changed. Wait, she said you two were broken up when we went to that show. Lena went pale. We were basically broken up, she insisted. We'd been fighting. We had one conversation, I said. That's not broken up. Jonah looked at her. So you were dating both of us? It wasn't like that, she whispered, right as the police walked in. 2 officers who looked tired, and it wasn't even 9 a.m. We got a call about trespassing. The doorman explained they didn't live there and I'd asked them to leave multiple times. The female officer looked at Lena. Is your name on the lease? No, but... Then you're trespassing, you need to leave. Lena shouted, that's not harassment. I'm trying to fix our relationship. There is no relationship, I said calmly. I ended it. You can't force someone to be with you. The officer gave her a final warning, and when she still wouldn't stop, they escorted her and Jonah out. I gave the officers my documentation, screenshots, call logs, the Facebook posts, everything. One officer told me I could file for a protection order Monday and they'd note the incident in their report. After they left, I went back upstairs and sat on my couch for a while, the whole thing feeling surreal. Marco came over that afternoon with beer and pizza. We watched basketball and decompressed without talking much. Monday, I filed for a protection order. Temporary order granted. She can't contact me, can't come within 500 feet of my home or workplace, and there's a hearing in 3 weeks if she wants to contest it. The order got served Tuesday. I know because her mom called my work, which my lawyer told me is a violation, so I documented it too. My boss called me into his office and said her mother had called demanding to speak to me, and if she calls again, they'll report it. Today was quiet, the first peaceful day in 2 weeks. Then I checked my email tonight and found one from Jonah. Subject line, sorry man. He wrote that Lena told him we were already broken up and she was just nervous to tell people. And when he realized she lied to both of us, he cut contact. He apologized for his part and said I deserved better, and that she'd been blowing up his phone calling him a traitor until he blocked her too. I didn't respond. There was nothing to say, but it was validating, confirmation that my reality was reality, not the twisted version she'd been selling. So that's where things stand. Protection order in place, silence restored, life returning to normal slowly. Marco asked if I regret ending things, and the honest answer is not even a little. Every day since the breakup, she's shown me exactly who she is when she doesn't get what she wants. Manipulative, entitled, allergic to accountability, willing to rewrite reality and weaponize sympathy. I used to think the hardest part would be losing someone I loved, but the hardest part was watching someone I love try to punish me for refusing to be disrespected. She told me clearly, I'm not letting go of my ex, deal with it. I dealt with it by leaving. And if there's one lesson in this whole saga, it's this: when someone shows you that your dignity is negotiable, believe them, then choose yourself.